You're listening to Stupid Opinions on SuckProfessor. It's me, I'm Hank, and I have with me...
James.
Hey, James.
Hello.
How was work today, honey? Just kidding, don't care.
It's
All right.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah, it is Sunday. James, they don't need to know that. This is theater. Okay, guys, so many things going on. 2014 was awesome. Guess what? Good news. There's one more year left in existence, then it's 2015. Are you excited about 2015, James?
Yes.
Why? Because a lot of good things are coming up, that's why. Mm-hmm. Now your turn to talk.
Okay, so
I'm terrible.
So we're talking about our favorite.
What are we looking forward to in 2015?
Okay, so I've got a list of about. How about we trade off? I'll do one, you do one.
I don't have that many. We're just going to talk about your shit.
Okay, I'm going to start with the one for the PS4 that I'm dying to play.
Okay.
It may not come out in 2015. Maybe it's the 2016 title. I don't care. It's coming out. I'm dying for it. That's Silent Hills.
Dude, I hope it never comes out.
There is still crap in this couch from last time.
Yeah, because there's still vomit and diarrhea on this couch from when we played the PT demo. Mm-hmm. And that vomit and diarrhea was because I was so scared of that game. I ate my own vomit and diarrhea from the previous day, and then I got diarrhea from all the vomit and diarrhea I ate.
Yeah.
That's how scared I was of the game.
I've got a serious problem.
It disturbed me, and then you put a file in one of my folders, Oops. Last of Us, and I opened up a video, and it was a fucking ghost shaking, like, it scared the shit out of me. I had a weird reaction to it. I can handle that stuff generally.
I didn't mean to do that.
No, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but I was like, oh, Last of Us, I'm gonna go edit this, and I open it, it's a fucking terrifying, the female freak bitch ghost monster from PT demo. Suddenly she's just sitting there shaking her head back and forth in a hallway. So that was what you did to me, you bastard.
Oh, God, I didn't know that.
That's okay. I'm not mad. It was just, I was like, God damn it, I didn't need this. I just went to therapy. But it's terrifying. But that was just the prequel to Silent, or not prequel, like the tech demo for Silent Hills, starring The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus. Reese's Pieces. Mm-hmm. And why is it going to be so good?
Yeah, I mean, you probably just... My backstory is that the first movies I ever owned on VHS, that makes me old, that my mother bought for me was Cujo and Hellraiser.
Okay.
And Hellraiser...
How old a kid were you and your mom gave you Hellraiser?
I was probably about 5.
Oh, my God.
And Hellraiser, I mean, just to set the tone for you, it's about a man... The first one, I believe, is a man who is ripped to pieces by a puzzle box, has all his skin flayed off, and must reconstruct himself by eating men that his wife lures home with a promise of sexual favors, and throwing them into the basement so that the skinless monster can suck the flesh off their bones to reconstitute its own body.
Everything you just said is word for word on my OkCupid profile. That's Pinhead, though, right? The guy with the pins holding his body.
He's
together?
What do they call him? A Cenobite.
Oh, God.
So anyway, barring that, those are my first 2 movies, and my entire childhood, the only books I ever read were Stephen King books.
Okay.
I did book reports on Stephen King books. I've lived a life of horror my entire life. It is my bread and butter. It's what I love more than anything.
You go to Stephen King cosplay events.
Yes.
You dress up like him and you go...
Yes.
Yeah.
I get hit by vans, and okay, that's a very obscure comment. So he got hit by a van.
He got run over by a van while he was out jogging.
Exactly. Anyway... Horror things are my favorite thing in the world. I love being terrified. I love being scared, and this game did what few games, actually no game has ever done to me. It freaking scared me.
The original Silent Hill, right?
No, PT.
Oh, PT did, yeah.
Which is
did you play the first Silent Hill, though?
It didn't really get me.
Oh, it had some scary shit in it. I played a good bit of it.
But the sad thing about this one is that I played it for an extended period of time to the point where it didn't affect me anymore.
All right, so now you have you got really used to it, but that's not how the gameplay is going to be. It's going to be a whole different, not different, but that's that world. It is going to be in that world with that tone, with that dirty, scary, what's around the corner, what's going to jump out at me.
It's rumored to still be the first person because people are clamoring, saying you have to make it first person. You have to recapture the lightning in the bottle that you did with the tech demo.
Yeah,
and I'm so hoping they do that, and I am on the edge of my seat waiting for that game.
It's going to be a terrifying thing. You're going to have to record it yourself, okay, you motherfucker?
I'm fine with that. And if they make it for the Oculus Rift, then I will need to buy diapers.
Yeah, I'll buy diapers. I'll need diapers on my face.
Yeah.
For all the terror that's going to cause. All right, next one. What's your next one here?
Well, it's your turn for one.
Well, the thing I'm most excited about, I think, and I haven't been paying that close attention since day job stuff and all that, so I might be surprised, but I really think No Man's Sky is going to be amazing. There's been a few videos out recently. I love... Did you ever play Freelancer?
It's when you start writing articles for a newspaper and you're not an employee.
Not joke boy. Okay, funny man. No, this is serious stuff. Okay. Freelancer was had the most incredible space combat. I don't know if that was a 4X game. The 4X space. I don't have the right words. I'm too stupid to talk about games. But it was so fun. You flew around. Everything worked with it really well. And I'm hoping that there's been a long gap in those types of space exploration games where you usually fly over this planet, that planet, this solar system, but you build a whole thing. And No Man's Sky, you fly into the planets, you fly around, I hope that the storytelling, whether you have to build your own story based on your experiences, which are a love open world game, this is really an open galaxy game, and it's all rendered, everything is rendered, all the particles and stars are all mapped after the real world, the real galaxy as far as we can tell, and also rendered in real time. So it's supposed to, I'm really hoping that, one, that's true, two, that if it is, my PC can handle it, or your PS4 can handle it. And I'm just very optimistic about it. I got a feeling they're going to screw it up somehow. Like Spore, not that was the same space game, but Spore had this big promise of tiny scale, little bit. You're a paramecium swimming around the primordial ooze. You evolve into a creature who's on the beach. Suddenly you're in the woods. Suddenly you got houses. Suddenly you got rocket ships, and now you're flying around looking for other planets. I love this. I love scales that expand on that level.
Yeah.
Did anything I say make sense?
Yes, and I'm excited for this game too because the exploration and the sense of, scope is just amazing. They say you can fly for 10 hours in one direction and discover new areas, and the first person to discover something gets a notification that they've discovered it.
Oh, really?
That if you're the first person on this planet, it might be named after you. It might have a marker saying, Hank was the first person to be here.
Nice. I hope it's filled with lesbians that want just for me. Although why would they be attracted to me? They'd have pretty bad taste.
Right. But my fear though is that you're setting this kind of scope in your game. You're setting this gigantic universe with multifaceted planets and environments, but you're only really showing a very tiny piece of that. So I'm kind of scared that you're going to go to any given planet and it's going to be one of, say, 4 variations. It's going to be, okay, this is the jungle biome, this is the desert biome, this one's different from this one because it's got a slightly different color palette, or this one has the same color palette but the fauna is slightly different.
Right.
I have a feeling it's all going to feel very samey.
That's the risk with games like that.
Right. You set the bar so high, and yet you can't deliver on all of that.
And then they set the bar to the point where our own imagination starts to come up with things that they could be doing, and then maybe they just don't technically have the ability to do all that.
Right.
But this different color scheme. Or these rocks are shaped. This has the smooth rocks. This has the sharp rocks. These animals are maybe they'll nail it though. Maybe in games where the NPCs, you start to recognize the same faces, the same people.
Yeah, or it's
Skyrim or something. I've seen that face, I've seen that body type, I've seen that cloak, I've seen that hat.
How can you have an infinite number of planets and yet make each one feel unique and
they don't necessarily all be told. Yeah, who knows? Well, it'll be fascinating, and maybe I don't understand how games work as much as I wish I did, in the sense of do they just, once they're finally done with development, they release it and they never really touch it again? Of course, they always all game companies do, of course, maintain it. Or is there more of a living, breathing thing where they're going to be releasing new content and updating stuff and maybe opening up new areas, because you can always make it bigger. And
here's a stupid question. I haven't seen a news article about it in quite a while, but from what I did see, it didn't answer this one question I have, and that is this: what do you do in the game?
Yeah, I don't know what the story is.
Do you fight? Do you get out of your ship? Well, we know you get out of your ship.
Do you gain territory?
Do you kill things? Do you get experience? Do you find gear? Do you upgrade your ship? I don't know.
I hope it's collecting alien skulls, just like the aliens from the movie Aliens, which I've seen on TV. That would be nice. Predators, I meant to say.
Yes.
Predators are the ones collect. They have an alien skull, which was just
right.
All right, 1980s action movies. Of course, I would make a reference to that. All right, what else, James? We've got a bunch here.
So I gave Silent Hills, you gave No Man's Sky. So upcoming games, this is one that I haven't heard a lot about for a while, but I'm going to go with Deep Down, which is a PlayStation 4 free-to-play exclusive game that they've hinted at as being sort of like a dungeon crawler, multiplayer,
co-op, right?
Co-op, I believe so. And they really, the only thing I've seen of it is some dungeon gameplay and a pretty amazing looking dragon fight at the end.
Yes, and from 4 different angles, 4 different co-op players. And it did have a lot of Dark Souls in it.
Yes, it did.
Looked like, which isn't bad. Dark Souls is one of the most like immersive, visually compelling games that I think I've seen in a long time. I really want to do a Dark Souls 2 playthrough. Side note, but God damn it, I don't have the time for any of it.
And
but
there's
anyway,
actually, it's
deep
another,
down, keep going. Fire was amazing.
From what I can tell from the video I've seen, Japanese people are very excited about this game. That's a level of enthusiasm I wish I had.
We couldn't. They might have been ordering food.
They could have been saying, "This game is terrible. I hate this. What are we doing here?" But they sounded very happy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with happy.
Yeah. No, it seems there's a good reason to be excited about it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. What else is out there coming up here? We got
okay, your turn.
Well, no, this isn't my turn. You wrote this list. We're talking.
Okay.
I mean, I wrote. Yeah, we're not. It's not like this is homework. The Order, 1886. I have not even heard of that. Is that about ordering Chinese food?
Yes, in 1886. No. Yeah. It's the thing about this.
If you spend $18.86 on Chinese food, you're gonna have a fun fucking night.
That would
yeah. Go ahead.
So this is again, it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Okay.
I'm not sure who the developer is, but from what I've seen, it looks like you're basically playing these sort of supernatural steampunk weapon wielding agents fighting against the denizens of darkness and werewolves and goblins and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
It has a very film-like feel to it, but the criticism...
Van Helsing?
Very much so, yes.
Really?
So the criticisms I've been hearing are people who have been watching a lot of gameplay. They're saying that it's a lot of quick-time events and things, but it looks interesting. I'm going to give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe it's a stinker, but it's enticed me.
So far, it's got your attention.
It does.
Most games, not most, but that's the thing. We're optimistic. We love games. We want to support games, and we always will. But not every game is going to live up to its promise.
Right, and I've
heard
it's
just how it is.
I've heard it runs at 1080p, 30 frames per second on the PS4.
That's funny. That's how I run. That's what I run at when I'm outside jogging.
When I'm in England, I tend to run at a higher frame rate, though.
Because of the kilometers.
Yes.
Among the sleep. I almost said sheep. I was like, hey, that sounds sexy.
So this one's on the list for one main reason, is because I am super excited to get my hands on an Oculus Rift.
Oh, this is an Oculus Rift game.
It was advertised with Oculus Rift, and I think this game is a really good benchmark for it because I saw people playing it with that on their heads. And do you know anything about the game?
No, never heard of it.
You play a baby who crawls out of its crib, so you get this sense of...
I'm glad you said crib. I was expecting vagina.
That would be a terrifying game.
Yeah.
So, but you basically, you're crawling around and you're looking up at like clocks and doors and things like that. And people have said that with the Oculus Rift on, it feels like the sense of scope is just so mind-bending. It feels like there's this enormous object in front of you because you're looking at it from the perspective of a crawling child.
Interesting.
That they say the level of immersion is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to both the Oculus Rift and I'm looking forward to see what Project Morpheus for the PS4 comes out.
Okay.
Can it hold a candle to the Oculus Rift? I'm skeptical.
Okay, so first of all, wait. Project Morpheus I've heard of, but I'm not that familiar. Among the Sleep, though, my first time hearing about it, you're a baby, you come out. Is it just a tech demo, or does the story
it's a full-fledged scheme. I mean, I could be...
You don't have to say the whole thing, but there's a bigger story that goes on with the baby thing.
Yeah, I know there was a demo out for it. It may even be out already. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But you're crawling out of your crib, and you have a teddy bear with you. The teddy bear is like talking to you, and you're seeing... It's sort of like a horror game.
So you're on acid. Okay.
Pretty much,
Project Morpheus. What is that? And how is it similar? Is it also more... It's not an Oculus Rift?
It is. It's basically Sony's foray into the whole Oculus Rift territory. It's their own headset designed for use with the PlayStation 4. My concern, though, is that from what I understand on the Oculus Rift, it takes a considerable amount of PC power to process like two screens at the same time, one for each eye, at high resolutions, at high frame rates, to create the kind of effect that it needs to be convincing.
Sure.
And as we know, the PlayStation 4 cannot hold the candle, or any candle, a candle, to a PC.
Okay. Wait a minute, hold on. Oculus Rift I know it's not its own system, but
no.
So it connects. It's just a viewing. It's a TV basically. I mean, as far as it like,
it's not doing the processing.
No, I know
grinding.
that. Yep. I don't know why I never thought about that. So you'll plug the Oculus Rift into a PC, but also you'll be able to plug it into a PS4.
Well, I don't think the PlayStation 4 is going to support the Oculus Rift because.
Well, then what is this Project Morpheus?
That's Sony's attempt at the same thing.
Of their own Rift, hardware.
Okay, so the Oculus Rift is basically something that's a peripheral for. I said that word wrong. But
Peripheral.
For the PC.
Okay.
Project Morpheus is saying, okay, we see this as a very interesting product. We want to do the same thing for console users on our system.
I see. Okay. All right. So it's a different piece of hardware itself, though, but
Yes.
it's the same, accomplishing the same thing.
Right.
Like,
but I don't know if they're going to do it as well as the Oculus
I got
Rift.
you. All right. Thanks for clearing that up. I hope I probably seem stupid for not understanding that right now, but maybe other people didn't get that there's multiple things. But Morpheus is not a game itself. That's the hardware.
No, it's the hardware.
Okay. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Now, I'm hoping by end, they don't mean his butt. His cute teeth.
Well, if it's Nathan
cute
Drake,
tushy.
people do want to see that.
Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
Starring TV's Nathan Drake.
Or voiced by famously who?
Elmo.
Nolan North, who was made famous in The Last of Us for what line?
Is that Kanye's kid? Nolan North? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay, remember we were playing Last of Us?
Oh,
and the guy was like,
not-
nothing over here.
Nothing to say here.
Yeah. That's basically any game you play, even in freaking Pac-Man, I wouldn't be surprised. Nolan North shows up and does a voice.
Okay, so
he's
done
like
a lot of
he's
stuff.
like the Tom Cruise of video game voices.
Boy, I wish the Brad Pitt of video game voices. Guy's great hair.
Yeah, and he actually kind of looks like Nathan Drake too.
All right.
But Uncharted series for the PlayStation 4, the entire series done by Naughty Dog, who are the same people who did The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
I did know
you probably
that.
did know that.
I did.
It's just, from a technical perspective, it's just the pinnacle of, gameplay.
They make good stuff.
They
It's
make
a very
incredible
exciting game.
stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't do open world. They do very linear, which you're
Yeah.
familiar with from the Uncharted series. I mean, from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But what they do is done so well that it doesn't matter.
Right. No, that's okay to do that. Not everything has to be open world.
No,
But the way they do that linear thing can be a constraint, but they use it to its maximum effect, and it really
Right.
works. They're good storytellers.
Right. The environments are interactive and amazing.
Yeah.
You don't need open world.
Yeah, you're not constantly pulled out of the world because of the quality of the acting, the quality of the writing, the quality of the story, the quality of the interaction, the fighting. Everything works together.
It's a very cinematic movie type experience.
Is Nathan Drake like an Indiana Jones type?
Basically, yeah.
Nice. I am all about that. All right. Anybody that solves problems with whips and hats, then that is a guy that I want to hang around
Well,
with.
he doesn't necessarily have a whip, but
I don't care. Yes, he does.
Nor does
All
he
right,
have a hat.
next one. Dying Light / Dead Island 2. Make this
Okay.
one quick.
this one I think is going to be a pile of garbage, but I'm going to play it.
Oh, okay.
So, Dying Light looks a lot like Dead Island 1. Dead Island 2 looks a lot like Dead Island 1. Made by, I think Techland is taking the helm of these.
Uh-huh.
I played the original Dead Island because it was so bad it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And I'm watching footage of these and I'm seeing more polished graphics. I'm seeing, more fluid gameplay, but I'm seeing all the same problems in these two games that I saw in the original Dead Island. And I have a feeling these games are going to be crap, but I'm going to have a heck of a lot of fun playing through them.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to playing crap.
Are they crap? And sometimes crap can be fun because it's so horrible it's fun. But there's versions of that. There's where it's badly designed, it's fun, but there's also just like, what the fuck were they thinking? Although they did a good job with that crazy whatever the shit that is, but yet I'm still having fun. Is it the former or the latter? Or the step stool?
I'll go with the step stool. No,
Right.
but it's like, for example, in the original Dead Island, you craft weapons to attack things with, right? So you get machetes, you attach like a car battery to it, so it's an electric machete, and so forth.
Uh-huh.
It seems like these games are exactly the same thing as before, with like various degrees of zombie uniqueness. But it seems like there's nothing new. It's the same exact thing, just a new world, a new environment, slightly new characters, which only, they're basically the same archetypes as they were before.
Yeah.
But it's the same exact thing all over again. So it looks like this mindless, boring.
So it's like evolution by slight degrees,
Right.
not a big order of magnitude.
Yeah, the graphics looks a little bit better, but it looks like the same old story.
When you said machete with car battery, I imagined a car battery at the end of a machete, and I was like, that would bash some heads.
Yeah,
that would be pretty
good. So I mean, it's not something I'm excited and ramped up to play, but I'm going to play it.
Yeah, you're gonna get there. Okay, I saw this Grim Fandango, and no, it's not Grim Movie Phone. All right, it's Grim Fan fucking Dango. Amazing game. Sorry, I got a bowl of nuts here, everybody. I was having nuts for dinner. James bought these nuts for me. I've been putting James's nuts in my mouth all day long. They're delicious.
Oh god.
And Grim Fandango came out in the 90s at some point.
Yeah.
Manny Calavera.
Yep.
He is
You're familiar, yes.
I played it. I
Yeah.
fucking love Grim Fandango. It is amazing storytelling.
Yeah.
Every bit about it, you feel connected to the characters. It takes place in the La Diez de los Muertos, which is the Mexican hell, basically.
Yeah.
It's not Mexican, but
Also
it's
known as
folk,
Taco Bell.
Folk, yeah, well, that's also my butt about 4 hours after Taco Bell when I'm back at Del Taco apologizing for cheating on them. And so he plays a travel agent. No, he plays a guy who dies, and he becomes a travel agent in this purgatory, the land of the dead or whatever. And fuck it, we'll just go long on these goddamn videos. Who cares?
Because my favorite 3 are coming up.
Yeah. And he has he becomes a travel agent to try to help people get to their destination when they die. So he's stuck. He's got unfinished business, and he's everything about it was amazing, and it did really well at the time too.
It's basically a point and click adventure.
Yes,
which is my favorite kind of game.
What?
I grew up on those. I love those. Like Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father, Grim Fandango. You cannot beat games like that. But it's a dying breed. I mean, they don't make games like that anymore, aside from like iPads and things, because people don't tend to gravitate towards them anymore, which I think is a really sad thing.
Yeah. Right. Oh no. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's not what Monkey Island was that?
Oh yeah, those, and like King's Quest and all those kind of games.
Those I played a ton.
What was it? Space Quest,
King's Quest, Black Cauldron. I mean, that's going real deep into the old days. We had all those games.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's point and click adventure, but it just I'm curious to see what it's like. I didn't even know they were making. Are they re-releasing the old story?
I think they're remastering it for PS4.
Well, that's a good move. I'm glad to hear that. I was hoping there was a whole.
Now, is that a Tim Schafer game?
I have no idea.
I think he's like the master of those kind of games. I think it is his.
Okay, so Tim Schafer, hey buddy, if you're out there, tweet us at SuckProfessor. We'll hang out, we'll talk. Maybe we'll get some walnuts. James's nuts are delicious.
If he actually tweeted or mentioned this, I would probably
of course
have a heart attack.
As if he's listening. Yeah,
I know that would
come on. Hey, all the Swedish bikini team that's listening, why don't you just send me pictures of your bikini teams? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you're the Pope, tweet about us.
Yeah, hey Pope, why don't you be nicer to the Dalai Lama? Okay.
You heard about that?
That's right.
You know about all the news about dogs
I follow
having
the
souls
news
and stuff.
They suck.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Wii U.
Okay.
Let's do Starfox fast.
Okay, Starfox. Freaking amazing game, awesome game. Came out originally on the Super Nintendo.
The graphics chip from Nintendo 64.
Yes, the Super FX chip.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
FX.
FX. Yes.
FOX. Star Fox.
I see what you've done there. Yeah. So amazing game. Came out again on the Nintendo 64. Again, critical smash hit. Amazing game, Star Fox 64. Since then, we have gotten nothing in the Star Fox realm aside from bubbling, boiling crap.
Okay.
Carbon.
Wait, didn't he partner up with Sonic the Hedgehog at some point? Or was that his kid?
No,
didn't Sonic the Hedgehog have a partner that was like a fox, like a little sexy fox?
That's Tails.
Tails, yeah. See? Same thing.
Oh, God. I should hit you for that.
Tails. I'd like to do something to those tails. And by that I mean, like, help them get an education so they can get a better job because the game sucks.
Yeah, so Star Fox has been kind of a dormant series for a very long time now. And they have released blurry footage of a screen of Star Fox playing with Shigeru Miyamoto sitting at the helm. And they give us very little information about it, but they're teasing that it's going to be ready, that they've got some sort of like a tech demo of it ready, but that it's going to be coming out in 2015, and it's going to be coming out immediately before another game that is having people losing their freaking minds over. And that game is...
Grand Theft Auto 19. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Zelda?
Yes, for the Wii U. Well, not the first, but the first true open world Zelda experience.
Oh, the Zelda games have always had an open world quality to
the
them.
original Zelda on the NES, that was open world. You can go anywhere you want and do anything you want.
Like Ocarina in Time, that shit's not open world?
Yeah,
not like a loose definition.
Yeah,
I always felt like you had tremendous amount of freedom and control with where and how.
Yeah, you had Eponia, you could horseback around all over the place, so it did have an open world element to it. But the scope of it, I've used that word about 19 times in this video.
It's okay. You got nice smelling breath. Keep using the scope.
So I mean, just the breadth of this game is amazing. from what I've seen.
Yeah, well, you showed me a video of it. It looked pretty impressive. Like,
Yeah.
you can look off, and then he jumps off the cliff, and suddenly he's floating himself with his own little parachute made out of a dish towel. I was like, holy shit, that's pretty cool. Like Zelda, though, like certain things you think like In-N-Out Burger, that's gonna be a good fucking burger. It's worth waiting in line. Let's go. Zelda has that thing where it's like, man, if it's called Zelda, first of all, it's too valuable for them to get it wrong, to go cheap and to go shitty and to let it languish. I would expect nothing but it being amazing and having all kinds of fun, cool stuff, cool combat. He jumps off the horse, he hovers above it in midair, slow motion, shoots an arrow, pow, just like Cupid does. In my heart, when I see a hot woman on the beach and I'm driving by and I slam on my brakes and I cause a traffic jam, but then I run over to her and I kiss her and then I run back in my car before the cops can get me. And that's why the traffic jam keeps the cops from getting to me. It all works out. Starfox and Zelda, big games. Gonna be a big deal on Wii U. Hopefully it breathes some life into the Wii U.
Yeah, I mean, the Wii U has been kind of languishing from poor sales. Before Mario Kart 8, it was a dying system. It had no games out whatsoever for it that people were really interested in. Mario Kart 8 came out, breathed huge amount of life into the system, but then it started to taper off until Super Smash Bros. Wii U came out, which is another surge of popularity for the Wii U. And now it's kind of dipping down again, but these games are going to revitalize it. These are really the games that should have been out as launch titles for the system.
Oh, right.
They dropped the ball. Nintendo's president has basically taken blame for the failure of the console to date, but I think it's finally, it's coming into its own.
And it's also really good that they're dicks about YouTube videos, so that's another great reason.
Yeah,
Not a great choices coming down from that Nintendo. Hey, fat cats at Big Nintendo, why don't you climb down off your ivory fucking tower and live among the people for a change?
Yeah, I know people aren't familiar with that. You want to kind of give a little...
No, not really. I mean, I'm not going to say, like, they flag YouTube videos that are gaming videos that are Nintendo games, and then allow you to keep playing it, but they claim all the monetization, and they just took away a bunch of gamers' livelihoods, right?
Yeah,
there's more to it than that, but
it's a very greedy perspective they take. Yeah, it is their content, it is their game, but get with the program, do what everyone else is doing. It's free advertisement for your product.
Yeah, you have really enthusiastic people putting in tons of work on their own dime and their own dollar, promoting your fucking game, and some of them make a buck off of it too. But that's the economy that we have.
By the way, you already bought your game. Yeah, you have their money.
Like, when you talk about getting Nintendo games on the channel, I'm always like, oh, fuck it. They're not going to... What's the point? It's not even worth the risk. I mean, they're losing money.
Do you know how much Mario Kart I could have on the channel right now? That I love playing that game and Super Smash Bros. Wii U, but I'm afraid to upload anything because I don't want to get flagged for copyright.
Stupid Nintendo, man. Stupid-ass Nintendo. All right. Mario Maker...
Mario Maker, I know very little about this, but it looks like it's basically a game where you design your own regular Nintendo style Mario games.
Oh, okay.
Where you place the Goombas, you build the architecture, you put the pits in, and any kind of game that fosters that kind of creativity and allows you to create content for other players to enjoy is a winner in my book. Little Big Planet series is no exception. I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds interesting. I probably wouldn't have the time or patience to do much with it unless I come up with something really fun and crazy.
I trust in the creativity of other people to make the levels for me to play.
I was assuming Mario Maker, I was thinking, must be good to play as Mario's parents.
Yeah, it's basically, you open the package.
Sex night.
Yeah, it's a paste-on mustache you put on.
You put on a mustache, put on a Peach outfit, you have sex. 6 months later, because video game gestates at different speeds than humans, now you have a Mario. You have made a Mario Maker.
And he pops out and says, "It's a me.
It's a me, a Mario. I got vagina juice in my mouth."
Oh my god.
Well, placenta juice, let's call it, to be fair. Science is number one. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking us out. That was a long one. What do you think? What are your games? What are you looking forward to in the 2015? And you should like and subscribe and comment and, just do all that stuff. James?
Yeah, what? Huh?
Want to eat a walnut?
No, but I will touch the bowl.
Oh, you just touched the bowl. That was awkward. Now I'm gonna have to send that back to the cleaners.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Yep. All right, everybody. I love you.